What's going on, friends? Sam Prentice here, back once again. Elegoo just reached out and they've just sent me their brand new Centauri 2. Yes, Centauri. I'm actually getting the pronunciation right this time. We're going to get this out of the box, we're going to put it through its paces, and I'm going to let you know exactly what I think about the new multicolour system. Let's get straight on into this one.
You are watching a master at work.
Okay, there we go. Let's do this.
To be honest, it's been a long while since I've had a product shipped to me that hasn't been incredibly well packed, and the CC2 is no different here. You've got plastic corner protection, moulded internal section, proper glass protection that would probably even make Uncle Jesse feel safe. Everything arrived exactly how you'd want it to.
Well, certainly on the face of it, it looks impressive. Now, I'm pretty sure I did see this at Form Next, but I didn't recognise it for what it was. I did pop past the booth very, very quickly, and I noticed there was a multicolour system, but I thought it was for the first Centauri system. We've got the screen here, we've got the poop chute, which clicks onto the back, I think, or this thing here, which I believe is the filament selecting buffer. And it is. It's called the Elegoo Canvas. It's an RFID one. Look at that in the camera up there, RFID it says on it. So that's that. What else have we got here? We've got, oh wow, multicolour system, friends, and 3D printing company sends you this. Thanks. That can go in the bin. Thanks, of course, to Polymaker for being the channel sponsor. We do have filament, so I guess that's something. Right, so we got the poop chute, we've got the canvas system, we've got a side panel, we've got this little shelf thing. We'll work out what that does in a bit. Looks like we've got some hub points here, not too sure what they are. Pop those down there. We have got some PTFE tube, and we've also got a CAN bus power lead potentially for the canvas. And of course, we've got the screen here, which I shall pop on.
The setup itself is quick and not really unlike most 3D printers around this size. There's nothing here that's going to catch you out or feel overwhelming. I'd say the key differences here versus other machines are really the mounting points for the filament spools, the canvas feeding mechanism, and installing your own poop chute.
That's actually pretty clever.
But honestly, this is about the maximum level of assembly that I'd be happy with at this price point. The screen plugs in and snaps into place, the PTFE tubes pop on easily, and there's a 4-in-1 filament guide that does awkwardly screw into the tool head. All you need to do is remove the drag chain and tighten it up properly, but it's really not a big deal and it only takes a minute. Now, of course, you're not going to want to forget those screws on the bed, but once you've worked through the very well put together instruction manual and double checked everything's in place, you're pretty much ready to power up and get this thing printing. Whether you're a hobbyist, a student, or a pro engineer, PCBWay.com has you covered. From simple 2-layer boards to complex multi-layer designs, they offer high-quality PCBs with fast turnaround and competitive pricing. Plus, their assembly service and 3D printing options make them the one-stop shop for makers, so visit PCBWay.com and turn your ideas into reality. Thank you once again to PCBWay for sponsoring this channel.
Now, of course, the channel is sponsored by Polymaker, so thank you very much to those guys. And we are going to be using the Panchroma range of PLA today. So we have got Starlight Midnight, we've got Celestial White, we've got Gradient Starlight Purple Red, and we've got Celestial Blue White. So let's get those out of the box, shall we?
Now that it's out of the box and set up, I want to talk about where the Centauri Carbon 2 actually sits. Much like the original Centauri Carbon, this isn't trying to be a no-compromise ultra-premium printer, and I think that's exactly the right decision. It feels deliberately positioned as a budget-friendly enclosed CoreXY, but with meaningful upgrades where it counts. So far my experience has been great, no issues at all, it feels well built, well thought out, and very much in line with what I'd expect at this price point. Functional, solid, sensible rather than flashy. The only small thing that's probably worth mentioning at this stage is that I tried to install the latest firmware and it didn't go through first time. And that being said, I'm fairly confident it's more to do with my home network setup and permissions rather than being an issue with the printer itself. So I'll come back to that later once I've had time to dig into it properly. So what about the core specs and the overview? Well, let's start with the basics because this is where people are naturally going to compare it to the original Carbon and other printers in this size class. Now you're getting a 256mm bed, which is a really usable size for most projects. Print speeds here up to 500mm per second, 250 though are recommended, acceleration at 10k with a maximum of 20k. Now, on paper, the motion system here is solid and proven, but the real focus here isn't really chasing big numbers, it's about consistency, reliability, and supporting features that make the printer more capable overall. So what about the hot end and materials? Well, one of the most important upgrades on the Carbon 2, I would definitely say, is the hot end and material support. Now, you've got a hardened steel nozzle with a maximum temperature now of 350 degrees, which does kind of seem about the norm now. It's a nice jump from the original. The heated bed goes up to 110 degrees. It's a fully enclosed chamber, which again is going to make a huge difference. But of course, the C1 was also that, but again, we're a few more degrees on the hot end there, but it's going to deal with those demanding materials. Now, PLA, PETG, TPU are going to be obviously no problem at all, but this machine is very much designed for ABS, ASA, PC, PA, and a wide range of carbon fiber reinforced filaments, which again, we will be testing. Now, without needing any hardware changes, this printer is straight out of the box, ready to print these kind of materials. And again, material flexibility is generally very impressive here. So while we're on the topic of printing materials, I did reach back out to Elegoo to ask them about their canvas system just to make sure that abrasive materials being loaded into that system isn't going to completely mess things up. And they came back and said it should be absolutely fine. They've already thought about that. And really for them, it's more about drying the filament and making sure that it's not brittle and making sure there's no kinks. So apparently we're good to put carbon fiber material through it, which is going to be interesting, I guess. We will of course circle back to that, but there is a smart grille and chamber control. Now this is one of those features that doesn't really sound exciting until you actually use it, and at the rear of the CC2 it has an automatically controlled smart grille that opens and closes depending on the material that you're printing. For lower temperatures and materials such as PLA, PETG and TPU, the grille is open to help cooling and keep things quieter. For higher temperature materials like ABS, ASA, PC and nylons, well, it stays closed to retain the heat and maintain a stable chamber temperature. So for this, it means no more guessing and no more cracking open doors manually. On top of that, filtration has been upgraded to a dual stage HEPA and activated carbon filter, with significantly improved absorption when compared to the original. And of course, the original is slightly contentious, I think, inside of the community, but we'll again circle back to that as well. Cooling has been significantly refined compared to the original model also. The model cooling fan is now fully integrated rather than using a split housing, which improves airflow efficiency and makes noise easier to control. There is also a larger internal auxiliary fan that circulates air more evenly inside of the chamber. This results in better cooling when you need it, more stable temperatures when you don't, and noticeably a quieter machine overall, especially for an enclosed printer. Physically, this is a very clean looking machine. It's got a rigid metal frame, and up front there's a tempered glass door now coated with protected film to improve impact resistance and reduce the chance of it shattering during everyday use. Up top, well, the lid is plastic rather than glass to accommodate the new canvas system. It's definitely more invasive than compact, and it takes a little bit of getting used to. It certainly has a bit of presence, but let's put it this way, once you've lived with it for a fair bit, it fades into the background. The side panels are nicely finished with concealed screws, and the wiring is kept very tidy. Overall, the machine looks cohesive and very well thought through. Underneath, the redesigned vibration dampening feet do a great job of soaking up that movement, keeping things steady and helping reduce noise during faster prints. Now, I'm pretty sure it's got a new screen. Yes, well, up front there's now a 5-inch HD capacitive touchscreen up from the 4.3 of the original. It's brighter, it's sharper, and it's, well, frankly nicer to use, with a refreshed interface that feels familiar straight away. And on the software side, you're running Elegoo's OS with Wi-Fi and USB connectivity. built-in Elegoo slicer, Orca slicer support, and integration with their wider ecosystem. There's also a mobile monitoring and remote control app, so you can keep an eye on your prints while they're running. So not all 3D printers, of course, are created equal, and it kind of reminds me, this machine, of the Flashforge 85X and also that Wonder Maker thing that they brought out that, yeah, anyway. But the Centauri Carbon 2 is quietly very clever. Yes, well, there are 18 sensors monitoring things like temperature, filament movement, vibration, fans, and airflow. This includes auto-leveling pressure sensors, dual filament runout detection, filament clog detection, overheat protection, fan failure detection, vibration monitoring, and confirmation that the smart grill has opened and closed correctly. And these aren't just flashy features, they're adding a lot of confidence, especially with longer prints. Right, let's talk about the Elegoo Canvas because it's very much the headline feature of this printer. Canvas is Elegoo's built-in multicolour and multi-material system, designed specifically for the Centauri Carbon 2. It supports up to 4 colours or materials in one single print. It also uses RFID auto recognition to understand what filament's been loaded, then recommending compatible settings automatically. You can then even match filament colours and slicer assignments. If something doesn't quite line up, then you can still confirm it manually. It also supports automatic filament refill, clean retraction and rewinding, instant color switching, and tangle detection with safe print pausing. The whole system is clearly aimed at making multicolor printing easier to live with day to day, which of course would be phenomenal if it wasn't just limited to Elegoo's own RFID filaments. Maybe we can open that up in the future. Come on, Elegoo, let's do this. Overall, my experience of the Centauri Carbon 2 has been genuinely very positive. It's been well packed, well built, and thoughtfully upgraded from the original without overcomplicating things. Rather than chasing headline numbers, it focuses on usability, reliability, and features that actually make printing smoother. And if you like the original Centauri Carbon 2, it really does feel that this was the version that it always really wanted to be. So now we have Canvas, but what about the people that bought the original Centauri Carbon? And where do they fit into all this now? Now, I don't want to dwell on that too much, but I think it's definitely worth mentioning, and I didn't want to do a video without at least touching upon that. So if you don't know what happened, well, here it goes. When Elegoo launched the original Carbon, it was actually a very solid base machine. Fast, enclosed CoreXY, decent print quality, easy to get going, and it was clearly pitched as something you could grow over time. That's not even mentioning how amazing the price was, but part of that early message hinted at future multicolour or multi-material capacity. Not necessarily day one, but it's something that was going to happen later on down the line. As time went on, it became clear that this multicolour upgrade wasn't landing as planned. Elegoo eventually came out and said that after internal testing and R&D, they couldn't get a multicolour system working on the original Carbon hardware in a way that met performance expectations. So rather than releasing something half-baked, the upgrade was effectively shelved. That obviously caused some frustration inside of the community. Some people felt that they'd bought into a promise that never materialised, and I completely understand why that left a sour taste in a few users' mouths. The key takeaway though, and this bit matters, that it wasn't abandoned out of laziness or lack of interest, it was a hardware limitation. The original platform just wasn't designed to handle multicolour printing properly without compromise, and that's really where the Centauri Carbon 2 comes in. Instead of trying to retrofit an older machine, Elegoo have gone back to the drawing board and tested a successor where multicolour printing isn't an afterthought or a roadmap bullet point. It's been built in from the start, and Canvas now exists because the hardware now supports it properly. So if you skipped the original or felt burnt out by how it played out, this is clearly Elegoo's attempt to do it properly this time around. So to sum this all up, I guess the Centauri 2 is Elegoo's redemption. Let's have a look at some of those prints.
So there we go, friends. I've been thoroughly impressed with the models that I've been able to print out so far, and a lot of these are from STL Flicks. Of course, links will be down in the description for the filament and for the models. And again, if you want to pick one of these up, the price has just come in, and I've just had a look at it, and it's coming in at £399 or $449. You can buy it right now. The links, of course, for that will be down in the description. Let me know what you think about this in the comments section. Do you think this is worth it? Do you like the 4-color system? Is it going to work for you? What do you think about the plastic top? A couple of things though before we get going on this and we finish up for the day. The Elegoo slicer, in my opinion, probably does need some work. It sent files, but it did occasionally crash, and I am using a MacBook. It did also sometimes disconnect from the Wi-Fi. I don't know if that's an internal problem here. It doesn't seem to have those kind of issues on other machines, but certainly for this one, it did seem to have that kind of buggy environment, but ultimately it did do the job. Now there's one final thing I want to talk about, and that's the waste. Now the way that this works, it still does purge and it still does generate waste, but not nearly as much as some of its leading competitors. But just to show you finally, and I will have to clean this up at the end, this is the entire waste that we've had throughout this process, and there's still quite a lot there, isn't there? Anyway, I'm going to clean this up. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Hit it a like, hit the subscribe button if you're not already locked into this. Friends, we will see you next time. Bye for now.
You are watching a master at work.
So the good news, friends, is I do have a vacuum cleaner. It's a shop vac from Giraffe Tools. Got a video coming out on it very, very soon. But this is the vacuum cleaner. It is a unit that's on the wall up here. It looks phenomenal, but we're going to clean it up now. So let's see if this sucks this up. Not bad, eh? Not bad. Again, I'll put a link in for Giraffe Tools as well. Definitely worthwhile in any shop or 3D printing environment to be able to clean your printer or clean up when you've dumped a bunch of filament all over the floor. See you next time. Bye for now.